Hello there. We're back with some more set review action. Um, as always, I'm Logan, but you can call me Copycat99, and I'm joined with my teammate Hector, and we're gonna go over some cards. This time we've got the aggression aspect. Let's get into it.
Alrighty.
First up is Dedra Miro.
Um, this one you got to spend a resource, and you might be able to do 2 damage to an enemy unit. And if they don't want you to, you get to draw a card. Seems kind of cool, but you've got to be off curve basically the whole game if you want to continually make use of this. I don't see it being horribly competitive, but it might be fun in a limited format. And then if you happen to have more cards in hand, when she's deployed, she gets raid, which could be good. But if you run into some sort of hand disruption deck where they just say, no, I'll just take the damage, then she's just a 2/5. But she does come out on 4.
Yeah. Opponent's choice effects are typically bad if both choices aren't like
Yeah.
really, really bad. Like, I Am Your Father has not seen extensive play. I'm sure there's other options that just weren't even good enough for me to remember them in this game. I don't think Dedra's much different. Like, playing off curve to let your opponent pick what your leader ability doesn't seem like a winning proposition to me. Um,
Mm.
and she has this weird tension where frontside ability is kind of a control ability. Like, damage or drawing cards to draw into answers. Like, both those are good methods of controlling your opponent's board. But then she flips and she's essentially wants to be a 4/5, and that's an aggressive stat line, 4 cost 4/5. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, why is her deployed side and aggro when her front side is a more control oriented? Like, it just, the leader fights itself. And I think it really just
Yeah.
doesn't work in most contexts. So I don't like her a lot. I don't think she'll see much high level competitive play.
Yep.
Next up is Governor Price.
This is another one I don't think we'll see a whole lot of competitive play, but again, you got to spend a resource, and you can ready a token unit. Um, I mean, if it was ready something else, maybe, but the token unit, meh. Her flip side, she comes out on 6. Um, she gets a +1 for every ready token unit. So if your tokens happen to survive, or you just happen to have a great token engine, she could be large on the attack and get one big attack off. She does create a spy token every time she attacks, but I just think it's a lot of work to to get a payoff out of it.
Yeah, I really dislike until we get like 6/6 Night Brother tokens, which they probably won't print while Price exists. Like, your options are like 2 power and less units. So unless you're like
Yeah,
slapping upgrades on your tokens to get value out of the front side, your leader ability just doesn't do that much. Um,
no,
and it feels even worse when a token with an upgrade on it gets waylaid, because at least with other units, you get the unit back. The token just ceases to exist. So, like,
yeah,
they basically killed it for their resources, which feels awful. On the point side, like, why do the token units have to be ready? Like, I'm already playing a terrible token deck, and I'm playing a
hmm
terrible front side leader. My backside can get +1/+0 for each token I have. Why are I can have exhausted
yeah,
tokens and no buff. Like, I don't get why they nerfed her that way. And like, on attack, make a spy. Like, she only has 6 health on 6. Like, will she even live to attack? That's not even a guarantee. Like, I don't know why they put so many conditions on her to just like I don't know.
yeah.
She's a very poorly designed leader, and I'm not even gonna play her in limited, to be completely honest. I think there are much better limited leaders in the set that'll just
hmm
play red as their splash and not play this. Next up is Cassian Andor.
Um, I like him. If your friendly units have damaged an opponent's base, they can't be attacked. So you can protect your units essentially, especially if you have the initiative. And then on his flip side, if you have the initiative, he can't be defeated by not having hit points, and he can't be defeated by enemy card abilities. Yeah, the opponent could just claim initiative and he suddenly dies, but they have to then pretty much end their turn at that point. So I think he could be pretty good. There could be some sort of fun build with him. He has overwhelm. He attacks for 6, so I think he's kind of cool.
I just like the play style that this leader encourages. That like, um, if you just go face first action every time, your unit is just invincible to combat. They can't attack it, and like
Yeah.
FOG wants us to play this unit on unit mid range combat type game, and Cassian just says no. He just says like, you're either playing event based removal on my units, or you are racing me, and I'm probably winning the race because I built my deck to do it. So I really dislike that. I actually think his deployed side is just fine. Like if I I think people early on won't know that like you have to claim super early, and as soon as you
Hmm.
claim super early, he just dies. And like if you don't do that, you will get run over. They'll like flip Cinta and then hit you for 6, and then claim and hit you, rebel assault you and hit you for a billion or whatever. But if you just learn to claim early, like if you have initiative on his flip turn, he kind of can't flip. He just gets pinned like by like every unit in the game, which is not good for the Cassian player. But
Yeah.
I do think there is like there's enough action cheating in like a red green or red yellow shell that this leader will see some competitive experimentation. The text is really strong, and if you have not played against Cassian, it takes a serious adjustment to be able to beat it. Next up is Luthen Rail.
Um, Not sure about this one. I mean, okay, if you one of your friendly units is defeated while attacking, so you're pretty much encouraged to try to trade here and get your units killed off. You can exhaust them and then deal 1 damage to a unit or a base. I mean, that's great. You get the ping and you can choose whether it's a unit or a base, but you have to trade. So if you want to trade and you want to play control, and then you can do 1 damage to the base, which means now you're trying to go more aggro and go to the base. It just seems kind of counterintuitive there. And then on the other side, he deploys on 5. He's a 2/7. When a friendly unit is defeated while attacking, now you can do 2 damage to a unit or base. So it's kind of the same thing, just a little more. Um, I don't know. I think it's I think it's just kind of counterintuitive what he's doing.
I think as long as Sabine, Han 2, and now Cassian are legal, I think it'd be really weird that I choose Luthen as my
Yeah.
leader over those three. Those three offer a
Hmm.
lot more, in my opinion. Um, like, there's nothing wrong with this leader. It's just Red Hero's. Oh, Anakin is another one. Like, Red Hero just has really, really good leaders, honestly, and like, so it's just a lot of
Hmm.
competition that Luthen has to deal with. Like post rotation, if we get more effects like I think it's Valiant Commando, that it's like a 3/3. When it hits your opponent in the face, you can sack it to deal 2 damage to their base. So then it's like when Luthen's deployed, this attacks your opponent and hits him for 7 or whatever. Like maybe he can assume a Sabine like shell if we get more effects like that post rotation. But like right now, he isn't gonna see play. There's better leaders to do what he wants to do.
I still think post rotation there'll probably be better leaders to choose from too.
That's definitely a possibility. We've got the Imperial Occupier.
2/2 for 2 when defeated. Create a spy token. Not bad if you need some sort of curve filler or turn one play. Um, it gets killed. You leave something on board, so not bad.
Seems like a really good limited card, and like maybe we'll
Hmm.
play it in Thrawn and Premiere. Double trigger it and make a ton of bodies. It's very funny. I don't know if it's worth playing over other traditional Thrawn shells, but it's an option. I don't think it makes the cut outside of Thrawn or a limited deck, though. Doesn't quite do
Yeah.
enough for its cost. Two drops kind of got really exciting recently, and this isn't super exciting. Um,
Hmm.
Now we've got Cyril Karn.
Another 2 drop. He's a 2/3 and an official. His disclose ability, I like the effect. Deal 2 damage to a unit unless they discard a card from hand. So it's kind of good for you either way. However, you have to reveal 2 red and a black, so you got to hold on to a lot of cards, or you have to be playing a double aggro deck to do it consistently.
I really only like this card in double red Dead Ramiro. Um,
Mm.
like he obviously is designed to work with Dedra, being able to like either kill your opponent's units or discard their hand to guarantee you have more cards in hand than they do, to flip, so your leader's a bit more aggressive. And that deck typically plays Tarkin Town, so it's even worse proposition if they deal the two damage to their unit. Um, but like outside of that shell, I think just double red and villainy. Like I have to hold two specific cards to trigger this ability, and this ability gets worse the longer the game goes on. Like they'll just pitch a spare
Mm-hmm.
2 drop they have in hand, or just take 2 damage on their Keller Beck that's a 7/7 or whatever. So, um, like his value diminishes very quickly, and I don't know if that's worth putting in my deck when I can play other good 2 drops that don't require me to sculpt my hand just to get diminishing value.
Yeah.
We've got the Hunting Assassin droid.
3/4 for 3. I mean, the numbers are fine. It's Underworld and a Bounty Hunter and a droid. Um, while an enemy unit is damaged, which is typically easy to make happen, he gains raid 2. So this one could be a decent choice in some decks. I kind of like it.
Yep. Good cost, good stats, good ability, good keywords. Typically a sign of a good card. um,
Yeah.
I can definitely see this in like Cad Bane decks, being able to play it, ping their guy, and then now this attacks for 5, and that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, especially this more weenie build of Cad Bane that has been adapted recently tries to end the game pretty fast, and this seems like a good outlet to do that while also utilizing your leader ability. All around great card.
Yeah.
Now we've got the Muckracker Crab Droid.
Um, 3 costs 4/3, and while it's ready, it can't be attacked. So that sounds pretty cool. However, on the turn you play it, it's going to come in exhausted. It only has 3 health, so it's a really good chance that something can kill it. Um, if it's not killed, at least you're guaranteed kind of an attack with it for a turn or two. But it's an okay card. Nothing to design a deck around necessarily.
I think I'll put it in to fill my curve in limited and leave it at that. I don't think it
Yeah.
does quite enough with for what I want for a 3 drop in the current Premier format. Now I've got Arianda Price.
When defeated, defeat another friendly unit. If you do, deal 4 damage to each enemy base. Um, that'll be fun in Twin Suns. Uh, I'm going to put it in like a premier deck, but I mean, I could see some uses for it. It's okay.
I feel like outside of Thrawn, again, this is a very like tailored Thrawn 4 card that they threw in the set.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Thrawn 4, where you can either double trigger this or kill another unit and double trigger that unit's when defeated ability, I just don't think it offers you enough. Like, it's only a 4/4, it's going to die pretty easily, and then you're giving up another unit just to hit your opponent for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like a winning proposition. Decks outside of Thrawn 4 that want to kill their own units and want to burn your opponent's base. And yeah, it rocks in Twin Suns being able to just burn the whole table. Imagine double
Yeah.
triggering a Thrawn 4, dealing 8 to everybody.
Yeah, in Twin Suns, totally. I'm putting that in.
Next up is Dryden Voss.
Um, double this unit's attack power for this attack. If you do, this unit doesn't ready the next regroup phase. There's, a lot of, I guess, a lot of combos people can try to do with this to try to get like one game ending attack or some big massive swing. The downside is it doesn't ready after that, but I guess what you're trying to do is just end the game, so it doesn't matter if it readies or not. Could be good in some of those, interesting little builds where it's like everything falls into place and now I'm attacking for like 18 points or something. But it just, again, it's one of those cards that you got to put a lot of work into making it work pretty well. Could be fun though.
Compared a lot to the Quinlan Voss unit, which is a 4-cost 4/5 force unit, which I think its traits Force is typically a better trait than or Underworld, and Quinlan is in a similar spot where it really wants you to put a pump effect on it, like a blaster or a surprise strike, are the two common examples. And then
Mm-hmm.
Quinlan with a gun hits for 8. Dryden with the gun hits for 8 but doesn't ready. And Quinlan gets to keep readying and just hits for 8 again next turn. So I
Again,
don't
yeah.
know. And Quinlan's a base 4/5 compared to this being a 2/5. So I don't know if giving up I don't think giving up the like very much stronger floor in my opinion Quinlan has to get the upside of Dryden doing like 20 damage. Like I don't think that's going to line up on average in in most games. Um, maybe like he's Underworld, so maybe this cat aggressive deck values that more than Quinlan. He has a villainy aspect over Quinlan if you're like playing disclose effects, but all in all, I think I'd still just put Quinlan in my deck if I want this kind of effect.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got the Enforcer Squadron.
If you're playing an aggressive deck, this could be good. I mean, it comes in attacking for 5 and it's hidden, so it's probably going to see the next round and at least get to attack for 5. Um, Not too bad. In a limited, um, I would totally include this in my deck. Trying to end the game quickly.
Yep, space is pretty sparse in limited environments typically, so being able to just play a 5
Mm-hmm.
power thing in space and just start hitting your opponent seems very strong. Um, in Premiere, I could see this in like a Vader for red deck. Play it on 4. It's hidden, so it probably lives next turn. You attack, then you get to make your token. Seems pretty strong there. You can even play it on 5, and if they don't have a removal for it in hand, you can flip Vader on it, and then send to Kaz and hit him
Mm-hmm.
for 10, and probably kill him.
Yeah,
So, yeah, seems interesting in that kind of shell, and then it's definitely an All-Star Unlimited, I think.
yeah.
Next up is Mirage Skintel.
Um, Friendly unit is attacking a damage unit. The attacker gains overwhelm. That seems kind of cool. When played, you may deal 3 damage to an undamaged unit, so she can kind of feed that ability. She's only 3/7, so for 5, her numbers aren't fantastic, but I guess the payoff there is to make something else kill a unit and deal some overwhelm. So, I mean, I could see some uses to it. I just don't think it's going to be like the number one card or anything.
I feel like people have been overhyping this card a bit much. Like, on 5, is 3 damage to an undamaged unit going to kill anything? Probably not. So you have to, like, put in more work. And her stats are, like, lacking. Like, the passive to give everything overwhelm is not strong enough for me to give up offensive stats. I'd rather play a 5/7 or a 6/6, I think. So like
Mm-hmm.
she's just in this weird spot where she doesn't kill anything on enter and her passive isn't that impactful and her stats aren't that good. So that typically means the card isn't very good. Um, I totally could see her seeing play in some shells. Like people propose Talazin because you can double. She comes in on your flip turn and then you can double shrink and then you can get a 5 health unit. That's like okay. Maybe it'll see play in some niche decks like that, but I don't see it seeing a majority amount of play at all in Premiere. Now, in a slower, limited type environment, maybe getting overwhelm on most of your units matters a lot more. Maybe she excels there. We'll see. We've got Hondo.
Hondo, 6 cost 6/5. Um, Numbers aren't super fantastic. I mean, he'll be kind of easy to get killed on 6. He does give everything else raid 1, which is kind of nice, and you can plot him in. So maybe in some sort of plot deck, he could be good. Or if you've got some aggro raid deck, he might be dangerous. But like I said, 5 health on 6. Is he going to live to the next turn?
It's really unfortunate that he costs 6 and Martian and Rowe also cost 6 because it seems like they would be best
Mm-hmm.
friends. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like I actually think there's nothing wrong with Hondo. I'd actually think I'd consider putting Hondo in decks if Syntacast didn't exist. Like, I think that's the competition for 6 cost plot cards, and Hondo just doesn't quite hit that level, and he's also a red card, so the competition is even worse there. Um, I'm
Hmm.
also disappointed FFG decided he didn't get a renegade treatment for the prestige. He better be like a store showdown promo um, or PQ promo or something because he is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, and I was totally gonna buy a prestige art of him, but he didn't get one. So there better be something for me, FFG. I'm watching you. Uh, but yeah, he's just. I think he'll see play in limited because you can't always open Cinta, and 6 to play leaders will see play in limited. But I just think
Hmm.
there's better 6 cost plot options in Premiere.
Yeah.
Now we've got the Galleon.
7 cost 6/6 in space, underworld unit. Um, when played, you have to disclose 2 red and a black, and then you can create 3 spy tokens. I just think there's better things than 7.
Yeah, in Premiere, there's just 7 drops are so powerful. This is just
Hmm.
not what you want. Now,
Yeah.
if it had no disclose requirement, maybe like making 4 bodies for 7
Hmm.
seems interesting. But like
Yeah.
having to hold like 2 extra red villain cards seems like it'd be clunky in a Premiere game. Now, I
Yeah.
think this is an absolute limited haymaker. Like removal already sucks, so being able to develop a 6/6 space unit and then 3 spies, so even if they answer your galleon, you still have board presence, seems like a very good way to close games in the limited environment.
Yeah.
Next is the Fulminatrix.
8 cost 9/7 capital ship. Space unit sounds good. When played non attack, you can deal 4 damage to your ground unit. Again, sounds good. I just think Devastator is a better option.
Yeah, so Devastator gets the upside of being able to split the damage,
Hmm.
and hitting base, which are is nice.
Yeah.
And Devastator only has 6 health, so it dies to full power Anakin, which is unfortunate. Um,
Hmm.
But Devastator also just threatens to play Planetary Bombardment the next turn and like win the game. So I think
Win the
Devastator still
game.
has the edge. But I could see playing like 1 or 2 Fulminatrix alongside your Devastators. Like there's nothing wrong with this card. It's got a lot of good text. It's a large
Yeah.
space unit that interacts with the ground, which is kind of a rare thing. Um, but it's just always going to be overshadowed by Devastator because they're in the same rotation block,
Yeah.
I think.
Hmm.
And we've got the Elite Squad.
8 cost 6/8 Imperial Trooper with grit. And then when played and when damage is dealt to this unit, you can deal 2 damage to another unique unit. So it has to be unique, but that late in the game, most of the units are probably unique anyway.
Hmm.
Um, it's okay, but I'd rather play other things for 8 in Red Villainy.
This
It'll
feels
be
a little
fine in,
slow even for limited. Like
yeah.
Like I get to 8 and I play a 6/8 that maybe does 2 damage. Like, is that really what I want to spend 8 resources on, even in limited? I don't know. I wish he could have shot himself so he could be an 8/6 at least. That would
Yeah.
have been more interesting. That seems like a lot of pressure, but as is, like I don't see. Oh, I guess they couldn't have done that because he could shoot himself like infinite times. The way he's worded it,
Hmm.
but they'd have to reword him. If we could do that. But yeah, I just I don't think he's that exciting, even in a limited environment, which is kind of dooming for a card. Next up is Tempest Assault.
Some more space hate. If you dealt damage to an enemy base this phase, deal 2 damage to each enemy space unit. Um, might be a good sideboard card or something to run instead of bombing run, maybe for some reason. Um, but other than that, I wouldn't see it being a main in anything.
I still think I give the edge to Bombing Run. A lot of ships have
Yeah.
3 health, and it only costs 1 more. So I think I'm more likely to play Bombing Run. Maybe if I really want 4 copies of Bombing Run, I play 3 Bombing Run and 1 of this. I could see that. But aside from that, yeah, it's just like a sideboard card that I think Bombing Run fills the niche better.
Hmm.
Now we've got Confidence in Victory.
You have to play it as your first action in the action phase and choose an arena. And at the start of the regroup phase, if you're the only player who controls a unit in that arena, you win the game. That's a lot of work to win the game. it's neat. Like those, you win the game or lose the game if this happens. Cards are neat. It's just most often in most games, it's just too hard to make them work. Um, you have to control the unit in that arena. You have to be the only one who controls a unit in that arena. So you have to be controlling to some degree, but at the same time have a unit. Um, so yeah, it'd be fun and interesting to make a deck around it. I just don't see it being like a truly competitive deck.
I feel like the 10 cost price tag is too many conditions already. Like, how
Yeah,
is the game not over by 10 resources?
yeah,
Like, are we sideboarding this for hard control mirrors? Like, that's the only way I see this even like getting played, let alone the conditions being met. I also find it funny that you can spend 10 on this and then like your opponent plays a 2-drop in space as their last action and you just spent 10 on nothing. Like
and then it's over. Yeah,
it's just it's a lot of hoops and just 10 costs, man. I don't see this ever getting played in a serious context. Now, if you build a meme deck and load it up at locals and you get it off at locals, you'll probably be a local legend. But yeah, don't put this in a competitive deck, please. Next up is the Rebellious Functionary.
one cost 2/2 rebel unofficial hidden. Pretty good, especially in some sort of swarm style deck. I like it.
FFG, I have one error with it. It's supposed to have 3 health so we can haunt it in. Um, Hantu it in. Yeah, I mean, seems solid. It's got good aggressive stats. It's good past turn 1 because of the hidden, making it more difficult for your opponent to interact with it. And it's got good traits. Like, definitely consideration for an aggressive slanted deck, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got Chopper.
4/1 droid, kind of an opposite to most droids where they have low attack and a lot of health. Rebel droid inspector uh, deals combat damage to a base. Each player discards a card from hand, so that could be annoying. Might be fun in Twin Suns if you don't mind getting rid of your own cards, making everyone else discard one. Cool. Uh, I'm sure there's might be some deck list that somebody wants to play this in. I don't necessarily see it being as like the cornerstone of any deck, but it could be fun.
If we weren't in such a ping centric meta with CAD and probably no
Mm-hmm.
Padme, I'd be a lot higher on this card. Like having an aggressive deck that having an aggressive unit that puts pressure both on your opponent's base and on your opponent's hand. And if you have 0 cards in hand, this just rips a card out of your opponent's hand. So like in
Yeah.
an aggressive like go wide deck, it definitely could be pretty strong. But like playing it and then it just getting pinged and you were like, okay, I'm cutting this card. Like it's unfortunate that 1 health cards just really don't get to see any play because FFG really loves printing like free ping effects. Like you can get ping effects for
Yeah.
literally free. So yeah, I just don't see it in the current meta. Now in Twin Suns, if you want to make the whole table hate you, absolutely throw it in your deck. It seems funny.
And that's the goal in Twin Suns.
Yep. If everybody doesn't hate you by the end of the play session, are you really playing correctly?
You've done it wrong, yeah.
All right, we've got Karis Nemec now.
Um, 2 cost 3/2 hidden. I mean, that's pretty good. I put in 2 cost 3/2s just because I need a turn 1 play, and then give them hidden bonus, and then give them a when defeated ability that's not too difficult to get off, and suddenly you can create a spy token and ready it. I like this card.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good words on it. This card's definitely going to see some play. Like,
Yeah.
having a 2-drop that replaces it if they power the dark side it, if they trade into it, like, it's just very, very good. And the spy token entering ready means you even get to keep the pressure up even if they kill it. So this seems a shoe-in for aggro decks. And it's even
Mm-hmm.
rebel traded for all the rebel synergies. Like,
It is a rebel as well,
yeah.
yeah.
Just seems like an all-star in an aggressive slanted deck. Next up is Cadal Conics.
Um, defeat all non-unique upgrades on a unit. So I mean that could be pretty cool. You have something with a bunch of experience tokens or something. Um, she could be like a Ether Sprite or a Power Surge type card. You could plot it in 3/2 resistance for 3. The numbers aren't fantastic, but if you need that anti-upgrade tech, you can hold it in there, put it in, plot it in maybe.
The confident or not confidence of
Post
victory.
rotation, it's more upgrade hate, I guess.
Yeah. The emergency powers answer unlimited we needed. Outside of that, I think there's better ways to spend our resources plotting it, and it feels bad out of hand. Like if it hit
Mm-hmm.
pilots, like I would have much rather a non-leader cause so it can still answer Chewbacca. Like I really hate
Yeah,
losing to turn 2 Chewbacca, and this just is another card that just misses on being an answer to that situation. So yeah,
yeah.
I think non-unique is a bit too much of a requirement to make me put her in a deck, if I can speak. Next up is the Valiant Commando. Oh, I was right.
I can see this card being played in the Sabine style deck. Deals combat damage to a base, defeat it, and do 3 more to it. Some sort of aggro fast deck. I can see this seeing some play, and it's a rebel trooper on top of that.
FFG will never print good rebel or good aggro cards that aren't rebel traded. They want it to be rebel synergy till the end of days. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, it's really good. Like you don't have to cash it in. Like and it's just a 3 drop that hits for 5 randomly later in the game if you can give up your board presence. Um, it also works really well with heroic sacrifice that you have 2 triggers to
yeah,
sacrifice it when it deals combat damage. So you can do the Valiant Commando one first and hit your opponent for 3. So that's a 7 damage swing for a 3-cost unit and a 1-cost card that replaces itself. So yeah, seems like a
yeah.
really good option for these aggressive decks to push a bit of reach towards the end of the game. Now we've got Kazuda Ziono.
4 cost 2/6, raid 2. You control fewer resources. It gets +2. Um, I could see some sort of deck that plays less resources using this. Aggro style deck, raid 2, so it's really threatening to attack for 4. And then if you're just playing a small deck, less resources, maybe go wide, might be attacking for 6. Um, so yeah, I can see it seeing some play.
I feel like this would be a slam dunk in Kylo too if it was a villain card. And
Mm-hmm.
that deck wants to resource to 4 and then stay at 4 and just play 2 cards a turn.
Yeah,
And this would have been great in that. In Hero, I think Sabine wants to keep resourcing to ambush Wrecker, and Cassian wants to keep resourcing to deploy. So I think it kind of just doesn't have a home. There's nothing wrong with the card. Like having a 4 drop with 6 health that potentially attacks for 6 sounds scary. But I don't know if giving up Rebel synergies and giving up the ability to ambush these more impactful late game threats that the aggro decks traditionally have played is worth it.
kind
We
of
got
sad that it doesn't work with Kazuda, the leader.
yeah. It should have been like um, it should have had 4 base power, and while an opponent controls less resources than you do, it gets -2/-0 or something. So it just like reverse the text so that you could blanket.
Yeah,
It is unfortunate. All right, next up is Strike Force X-Wing.
a 3/2 in space for 4, and it's a rebel and a fighter. I mean, it's the stats are too small to make me want to play it, even with the when played deal 2 damage to a ready unit, which is not that hard. I mean, yeah, it's specific, it has to be ready, but you can probably find something to deal the 2 damage to, and then it's a plot card. Um, yeah, not there's just better options for 4, I think.
I wish this. I don't know why this card has to hit a ready unit. Like, I don't think I'd be excited about this card if it just said deal 2 damage to a unit. Like, it's a really small
Mm-hmm.
space unit for 4, and it's like, this is not a
Yeah,
niche I need when I deploy my leader. Now, if it was a villain card, being able to combine this with like a Pout flip or a Bow Before flip, like then we'd be talking. But hero leaders just don't need this
Yeah.
effect. So I don't know. It's just like stranded without a home with low stats, which means it's probably not going to see any play. We've got Luthen's Hallcraft.
Um, this disclose or well, yeah, disclosability when defeated could be pretty nasty. The opponent discarding 2 cards from hand. It's only a 5/3, but hey, you want to get it defeated anyway. Rebel trait could be good. Just you got to disclose 2 red and a heroism card or heroism symbol. So you have to have the cards in hand. If you're not playing double red, then you'll have to have at least 3, well, at least 2 cards in hand to disclose. The ability could be pretty nasty if you get it off, though.
This is another card in that category of like random 5 cost spaceship that makes your opponent discard on defeat. Now, this particular one I think actually might see play compared to the other ones because if your opponent no glories it, they're like unlikely to be able to disclose heroism, so they can't actually
Mm-hmm.
steal the one defeated trigger from you. The other ones they no glory it and make you discard, and you're really sad, and you cut the card from your list.
Yeah.
Um, but I think this one has potential just for that. Again, as always, I'm kind of skeptical of disclosed cards that require you to hold 2 specific cards outside of mono decks. It really puts a lot more stress on your hand than you would think. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but in a mono deck, it's a slam dunk, and it seems like a really strong anti-control card if you can handle the stress on your hand. So I definitely see some potential in this. It's rebel traded too, which is always a good trait to have in this game.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the Inner Rim Coalition.
6 cost 6/5. When defeated, you may ready a unit that costs 5 or less. I like that when defeated ability a lot. There's a lot of competition, in my opinion, in red heroism for 6 cost cards. Uh, in limited, I could totally see playing this and working pretty well. In a premier deck, I could see it working as well. It's just again, there's a lot of good 6 cost cards.
Yeah, I think the options in Premier are just better for the 6 drop slot in most decks. Like you're competing with Wrecker and Anakin, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but that's enough. Those are the good ones. Like in limited, I totally see it as a pretty scary curve topper. It's a big unit that even if they kill it, you get to ready something else. So it pretty much guarantees you'll deal damage to their base, which is nice. And it's obviously got that official tag, which pays off a lot in this set. So yeah, seems like a decent limited card, and we'll only see play there. Next up is Alexander Callis.
Another card that has a lot of competition for its slot. 7 cost cards. There's a lot of good ones. I don't think this one is as good as a lot of those. So I mean, fine. You have the initiative. Each other friendly unique unit gains raid 2. So like it's condition on top of condition to give things raid 2, and then when played, deal 2 damage to each of up to 3 ground units. That could be good, but I don't know. There's just other 7 cost cards I'd rather play.
I feel like this card is trying to do too much at once. Like
Mm-hmm.
it deals a very small amount of damage to any number of ground units. It gives your units, your unique units, raid 2, but only when you have the initiative, and it's only a 6/6. Like it's a very messy card. I think in Premier there's just better things you can be doing. In Limited, I'll play it because it's a relatively large unit that can help me close the game. Maybe attacks for 8 if I have initiative because he affects himself. No, it's each other.
Mm-hmm.
He can't even
Oh,
attack
it's
for
each
8.
other. Each other
Dang.
unique. Yeah.
Okay. This card's trash. Still gonna play
Mm-hmm.
it. And then his one played
Yeah.
ability, I like kill
It's too many
spies.
conditions.
Yeah, too many conditions. Turns out, leaving the Empire for the Rebellion, you get hit with a ton of conditions, apparently. Um, shouldn't have signed that contract. Yeah, he's just trying to do too much for Premier. And in Limited, he'll
Mm-hmm.
see play, but I don't think you'll be too excited to play him compared to the other options, but he'll maybe do enough there. I've got Nemec's Manifesto.
Uh, one cost upgrade gives a +1/+1. Non-vehicle unit, of course, but gives something to Rebel trait, which is one of the best traits I think you can give a unit if it's not already a Rebel. The when defeated ability could be pretty nice if you're playing some sort of Rebel swarm deck. I can see this card making it into like a Sabine or some aggro Rebel shell.
I can't wait for people to Nemec's Manifesto Wrecker and then Rebel Assault with Wrecker, and I will die
And
because
Rebel Assault, yeah,
that is disgusting. Please don't do that to me. Um,
or Poe even.
Tempo too. Nah.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't know how often the gaining the rebel trait matters because I think rebel synergy decks typically play mostly rebels, and the when defeated ability is fine, but it requires you to have kind of a developed board state to even matter. Like you kind of want at least two other rebels on top of the unit you put it on that they'll kill. Um, it's only one cost for +1/+1. Like I think it's fine. I can definitely see it seeing play, but I'm concerned it just doesn't do enough on average to be worth an upgrade slot. Next up is One Way Out.
Um, for one, you get to attack with a unit, so it's a pump that allows you to attack at least right away. You're only getting +1. You gain overwhelm, um, but if you're attacking a unit, then the defender loses all abilities for this attack. I can see this seeing some play. I prefer pumps that allow you to attack at the same time, and this one gives you some decent options. Yeah, +1, fine the overwhelm, and then the defender loses abilities potentially. Um, so I think it's an okay card.
Uh, yeah, I think this has a lot of like this is a very flexible card. It does not give you much power for a pump, but I think the flexibility of blanking the unit and giving overwhelm is worth the trade off. Like if your opponent flips Kira, you can one way out over their Kira. It loses grit, so it's just a 0/4 vanilla. Um,
Yeah.
you can one way out over a super laser tech, do a ton of overwhelm, deny the ramp. Just any one defeated unit, this is a good target for it. Like I just don't know if this is gonna see play um, because of space issues. Like if I'm playing an
Mhm.
aggro deck, would I play this over Heroic Sack or Rebel Assault or Daring Raid or whatever, all these other similar pump type effects? I don't know. Like maybe it's more of a mid range card and some mid range shells will pick it up, but it's definitely got a lot of potential. I just don't know what shells really need this and are willing to commit space to this. Then we've got Oppression Breeds Rebellion.
You're spending 3 to gain 3 cards, provided that a friendly unit was defeated while attacking this phase. So condition on top of condition, but I mean, you can make that happen. Do you want to spend 3 resources to draw 3 cards? I mean, 1 resource per card. I guess that's not too bad. It's just I don't know if I'd have space for it in a deck.
I feel like this card finally hit the rate where like it's adequate for card draw. Like I feel like about one resource per card is correct. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like, am I spending deck space on this? Like, what deck wants to draw 3 cards that is also having early game units to attack and die? Like,
Yeah.
the decks that want card advantage are typically control decks, and control decks don't want their units. They either don't want their units dying, they want them killing multiple units, or they want to not play units in their deck. So this just doesn't really help any of the things a control deck wants, and the other styles of decks will just play units instead of this. Like they don't need the card advantage. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like none of the words are that difficult to attain or that bad. It's just there's no shell that really wants this particular type of effect. I think in Premiere, um, I don't see play unlimited. Probably it'll be fine there. Miss my three
Mm-hmm.
drop, draw 3 cards, guarantee the rest of my curve. Um, yeah. Then we've got Chairman Papanoida.
Three cost 2/6, double red. If a player draws one or more cards during the action phase, you may disclose 2 red. And if you do create a spy token, um, I don't know if this card will be that great. I mean, if you want to make some sort of spy deck that just happens to be double red, fine. But I don't know. I think it being double red just limits it too much.
Now, it isn't official, so Mon Mothma can play it and ignore both reds, which is very funny. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that deck doesn't draw too many cards from hand, in my experience. I've primarily seen this card in double red Dedra, and like that card's a fine or that deck's a fine fringe deck, and it kind of pops off in that deck. It kind of forces Dedra's leader ability to be 1 cost, deal 2 damage to a unit because you really don't want it making spies. And then sometimes they play aggression and make spies anyway and stuff like that. It's like fine there. And this card really sells in Twin Suns, I think, though, because it's similar to Seasoned Fleet Admiral, where it procs off the plan token, and people like to play Trench or Yoda or whatever consistency boosting leaders in Twin Suns, and this also triggers off of those. So you could be getting like 2 spies around with this, which is pretty silly. Um, but outside of Twin Suns and the double red Dedra deck, I just don't think it does enough to warrant being in double red. And double red is a traditionally weak color combination, so I think it just kind of suffers from being a double red card. Now we've got Reckless Rebel.
1 cost 2/1 rebel with Saboteur. I mean, that's fine. Um, if you need a 1-drop unit, I mean, I guess it's fine. If you're playing that type of go wide deck, um, it's just okay. I mean, again, in like limited, you need kind of that curve filler, or you want some extra turn 1 plays. You could include it in there. Nothing too special, but it does have Saboteur at least.
It's got 1 health. Burn it in a fire. It's not allowed. Um, yeah, I'd rather just play Rebellious Functionary, I think, in Premiere. And Limited seems really good, like Curve Filler that ignores Sentinels, like extra turn 1 plays if you need that. I'll definitely put it in Limited decks, but 1 health is not allowed in Premiere. Sorry. Then we've got Contraband Starfighter.
2 cost 2/3 vanilla. I mean, it's an underworld card. I mean, that's about it. It's just a 2/3 vanilla. If you need a curve filler, fine. In uh, limited, in Premiere, you probably have better turn 1 options.
Yep. We've got Crosshair.
Another 2 cost 2/3. This one's on the ground. Happens to be an Imperial. On attack, deal 1 damage to another friendly unit, and then do 2 damage to the defending player's base. So if you're wanting to play some sort of aggro style deck, maybe it'll work. Could be okay.
Yep. Seems fine in Aggressive Shell. It doesn't care. Like, you're going to kill my unit either way. I might as well get 2 to your base out of it.
Yeah.
Then we've got Outer Rim Constable.
This is the replacement for disabling Fangfighter post rotation. Cost less. 3/1.
It is nice that it kills pilot leaders. It dodged the non-unique or non-leader clause that a lot of upgrade hate has been getting hit with recently.
Mm-hmm.
It is unfortunate that it's a ground unit, and we typically wanted Fangfighter both to kill pilot leaders and contest space, because it is really good answer to pilots that also gave us some space presence to contest the unit they were putting the pilot on. Outer Rim Constable doesn't do that, but it will still see some play. Costing 1 resource less is a definite draw, even pre-rotation. And post-rotation, we likely won't have Disabling Fangfighter, so it'll definitely see play then.
Yeah.
Now we've got Warrior of Clan Ordo.
2 cost 3/3, so a battlefield marine that heroes and more villainy can use, basically. Aggression. On attack, disclose a red. If you don't, deal 2 damage to your base. I could see this card seeing play. You know, if Battlefield Marine sees play, I could see this seeing play. Yes, there is that potential downside that you have to constantly disclose the red or take 2 damage to your base, but I think it's easy enough to get around.
Yeah, like 2 cost 3/3 is good enough stats that I think it's worth holding a red card for the whole game at its life. Like it's not too
Mm-hmm.
hard to hold a red card for this. It's very funny that in Padme this downside is actually an upside because you get a ping of damage every turn. um, and then like you could also blanket with Kazuda and just not mess
Yeah.
with the disclose if you got nothing better to blank. So like there's a lot going for it in the traditional aggro shells that might want a battlefield marine. So it seems like it'll see some play. Next up is Academy Disciplinarian.
Um, 3 cost 3/4, so and it's imperial and unofficial numbers wise. That's fine. One play, deal 1 damage to a friendly unit with 2 or less power and ready it. Uh, could be useful if you're playing something maybe with raid or even just to ready something and deal 2 more damage. I could see it seeing some play.
I think it's I think there's better things to be doing in Premiere for 3, but in Limited, it seems like a very good way to apply a lot of pressure to your opponent. Hit them with their 2 drop, play Academy Disciplinarian, ready your 2 drop, hit them with your 2 drop, and then you've got a 3/4 and probably a 2/3, and your opponent's under a lot of pressure. Seems like a nice um, way to apply some pressure in Limited, but I'm not a believer too much in Premiere unless you're playing DJ and don't have many better answer or options. We've got Republic Arek Starfighter.
2/3 for 3 in space and grit. Uh, I don't see myself playing this in a whole lot of things unless I've got no choice. Like this is all I drew in limited, so cool. I'll put it in there. I need a 3 drop.
I mean, it's an interesting platform for pilots, but that's kind of the end of its utility. And like, there's probably better
Mm-hmm.
ships we can be playing than weird crit
Yeah,
ship to try and cheese people with pilots. So
yeah.
yeah,
And
I
then
don't think
they kill
it'll.
your pilot, and you're left with a 2/3.
Yep, that's definitely a problem. So yeah, I think it's just like I put this in as the uh, 25th through 30th card in my limited deck, and I'll play it if I draw nothing else. Next up is Undercity or Coruscant Undercity Police.
Uh, 4 drop, 5/4 vanilla, um, in limited. I need a 4 drop. It's attacking for 5. Great. Outside of that, in Premiere, I'd probably have more options. I definitely have better options at 4.
Good 4 drop for limited in Premiere. Just play Cham Syndola, like exact
Yeah.
same stats, and you get the benefit of your opponent's ramping. Or playing Han one. So yep, just nice limited filler. Now we've got Zeton Maj.
4 cost 4/5. When you take the initiative, deal 2 damage to a base. Not horrible. I think in limited, I'd totally play this. In Premiere, I mean, unless I built some sort of deck that really wants to take the initiative all the way, I might find better. Probably going to find better things to play for 4, but it's not bad. It's just fine.
I think the problem with this card is aggro decks typically go wide, so you can't answer all of their units. And
Hmm.
then if you're going wide, you're taking more actions than your opponent and can't take initiative all the time. So this card's text doesn't always trigger. But like it's a fine card in limited. It's got the stats you want for a 4 drop, so there's nothing really wrong with it. I think there's just better options for 4 that don't require you to have a specific word state that allows you to take the initiative option often. Except as AAT Incinerator.
5 cost 3/6. When played, deal 1 damage to each of the 4 other ground units, and if no friendly units were damaged, then deal 2 damage to your base. Um, I don't know. I don't really see this being played in a whole lot of things. If Django Fett was still around, it's just another card that would allow you to exhaust everything they have. But other than that, I mean, being that useful.
I can't wait for Django to be legal for one sanctioned Eternal tournament and for him to get banned again, like immediately, because like they keep printing mass ping guards. He will just tap your board every turn for forever. It's gonna be so
Yeah,
obnoxious for that one tournament. Yeah, I mean
yeah.
this
And
is just
at that point, I'd take 2 damage to my base happily.
yep. like I don't know. I just don't think it does enough for a premier deck if you're not playing like Django and Twin Suns or Django and Eternal.
Yeah,
We've got the Corellian Hounds.
5/5 for 5. I mean, that's fine. If the opponent controls no ground units, it enters play ready. So if you happen to be playing an all space deck, this could be pretty nasty. Apart from that, I don't necessarily seeing it being put into a deck, unless you're running a creature deck.
Hard control players, stop, stop! We're already dead. We're already dead. Just another pile on this stuff that makes hard control just
Yeah,
completely unplayable in this game. Um, yeah, I mean it's a sideboard card against hard control in space, so it definitely might see play in sideboards because it's pretty flexible in that regard.
yeah,
Outside of sideboards, it's just I don't think there's a creature deck that would main this yet, and it just doesn't trigger enough in a wide field and to mainboard this card. But definitely could see some sideboard play. And we've got Punishing One.
3/5 for 5, and it gains raid for each damage enemy unit. And when played, you can deal 1 damage to a unit. So when played and on attack, so it kind of feeds itself. Seems interesting. Could be good. I just think in the end, you probably have better options.
Another sick Django card in Eternal. This leader will
Oh yeah, totally.
totally stay legal. Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot in Boba 4. Like, if you aren't killing, like, you can flip into this. It becomes a 7, 8, 9, and then you can shoot 4 of their units for 1 damage and not kill them to give this raid 4, and then you can plot Cinta, and you can attack for, like, 11. It could attack for a lot. Um, and they're naturally dealing indirect to their units because otherwise they're burning their base and they're dying. So it seems like a shoe-in for Boba 4. Outside of Boba 4, I think there's better things we can be doing with 5 resources than playing this weird conditional space unit. Oh, and here she is. Here's Cinta Kaz.
This card sucks. No, I mean, one, it's a rebel, which
Of
that's just a
course.
bonus. That's just a bonus. It's 5/5 for 6. The numbers aren't super fantastic, but when played, attack with a unit, yeah, and then plot. So it could be your leader that you attack with. Um, this card is pretty good.
I think this card changes the way you have to play the game against 6 to play leaders, and I feel
Mhm.
like it like over adjusts for the way 6 to play leaders have been bad in this game traditionally. I think they just like surged up to being better than 5 to play leaders, which is very bizarre. Um, yeah, I don't understand why we're allowed to flip a pilot onto a ship and then attack all in one action. Like a thing I loved about the action for action system is the ability to interact in between opponents' actions. And Cinta just says, no,
Mhm.
I'm doing my whole
Nope.
flip turn on 6 in one action, and then I'm going to claim and threaten to do it
Yeah.
again next turn, and you get nothing to do about it. Like, it's just, I really dislike the way it removes interaction from the game, and it's really hard to prevent your opponent from just hitting you for a ton with a Luke or a Boba on a ship, or an Anakin on the ground, or a Cassian that then took a billion actions in one action, so now it can claim and make their Cassian invincible. Like, it's just
Yeah.
a really annoying card to exist in the game, and it just makes you like fear for your life every time you play against a 6 to play red leader, 6 to play leader playing a red base. So I don't know. It's obviously very very good card. Like, I don't even think it'd be too far off to just say she's the best card in the set. Like, I think almost hands down, she's definitely in the top 3
Mhm.
for sure. Um, but yeah, I just like how much she changes the game for 6 to play leaders.
even without plot, I think she's totally playable.
Yeah, I play her from hand occasionally, like, and feel fine about
Yeah.
it. Like, it's so nice to condense so many actions into one action.
hmm And there's so many good units you can potentially attack with her. Attack with after playing her
Yeah, and of course she had to be a
beyond just
rebel.
your leader. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to attack with her, your leader. Like you can, like I play her in
Attack with
Padme,
power.
and I flip Padme and attack with Poe. Like I flip Padme, play Cat,
Yeah.
Cinta, attack with Poe, and it's like I've got 3 units on board, and you just took 8. Here you get 1 action. Have fun. Like she is so disgusting.
hmm
Next up is Republic Warwalker.
6 cost 7/6 overwhelm. It's solid. It's a solid card. I mean, it's not like it's got wreckers numbers and it's got overwhelm. It just doesn't have his weapon plate ability. But overall, it's a solid card. In
Yep.
Premiere, there's probably better options. In Limited, I think this is a shoe in.
Yeah, seems like an all-star limited bomb. In Premiere, there's just the 6 drop slot even more competitive with Syntax existing. Like
Yeah.
there's better things you've been doing with 6 resources in Premiere.
Yeah.
Speaking of better things to be doing with 6 resources in Premiere, here's Saga Rare's Ewing.
Another Rebel unit, 4/8 in space for 6, so real sticky. Saboteur completes an attack. You may attack with another red unit. That sounds pretty good.
I don't know if this is too slow because it requires a second unit in play on top of this, but it does seem very scary to be threatening like a rebel assault effect every turn with this giant space unit with Saboteur. So if the game is going long enough with your aggressive or mid-range slanted deck, like you might put this in and use it to sneak through those last points of damage you need. Um, I definitely see some potential in this card seeing some play.
Could also ECL it in.
Yep, that's an option.
You could also ECL Cinta
Yep,
in.
that's yep, sure.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Synta in every sentence is gross.
Yeah.
All right, now we've got a not gross card. Here's Ambition's Reward.
uh, 2 cost upgrade. Give something +1/+1. It's a law card, if that matters.
Yeah, my
One
one
blade
free
grid is
Taz,
token.
bro.
Yeah. um, if you're playing a spy swarm deck, fine. Here's another way to create a spy and pump a unit by 1. But other than that, I wouldn't consider putting this in. I mean, in Limited, I would, because you're usually running out. I need cards, but
You
yeah,
put plot on this card, and I'm on board. No plot.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Like, I'll probably put it in as the last couple of cards in a limited deck, but I've just got better things to play in Premiere.
hmm
Speaking of better things to play in Premiere, this is Sudden Veracity.
And it has plot. So yeah, I mean, you can plot it in and suddenly give your leader an extra 3, or anything you want, an extra 3. I can see this one seeing some play. Those especially red aggro decks. Um, you put a upgrade on a unit and make it really threatening. Yeah, this one's pretty decent.
Oh, I don't need Cinta. All right, flip Cassian, Sudden Veracity, Sudden Veracity. Take 12. Like, it's just, it's really, I think, like, 3 costs for +3/+0, you'd think that would be bad. Like, we can play upgrades that are 3 costs for +3/+3. But not costing a card and action cheating onto your leader, the combination is very, very potent with upgrades. And this is an upgrade that is just, like, decent enough for its cost that it's worth actually playing. And, yeah, I'll totally die to this in, like, Con 4 or Cassian or various aggro leaders. Maybe Sabine might even play this card. Like, it just seems like a very good piece of the aggro puzzle.
Yeah.
Next up is It's Not Over Yet.
Um, and you can ready a unit that didn't attack or enter play this phase. So, I mean, if you have a unit that happens to have some exhaust ability, you can maybe make use of this and create a spy token. It's a lot of ifs, though. I don't see this card being too useful.
Heck yeah, a way to ready my Pershing and draw another card. Um, yeah, I don't think there's not a lot of strong exhaust this unit to do X abilities. Like I think Pershing and
Yeah,
Grogu are two of the better ones, and it's unlikely after 3 actions that your opponent has something to exhaust again with Grogu. Um, so yeah, I don't. I think this card has a lot of potential. Like it's a really powerful effect to be able to just reuse a exhaust unit for X ability for only 2, and you get a spy out of it. The card pool
and
just
the spy.
doesn't
Yeah,
support those kinds of effects currently. So this is definitely a card to
yeah.
keep your eye on if we get more of those types of effects. But right now, I don't think it does enough in the current Premier format.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Pursue the Lead.
Um, some more hand hate. Choose a player to discard a card from hand. If it costs 3 or less, then create a spy token. Um, if you're playing one of those kind of hand disruption decks, I can see this finding a home because, okay, discard a card. If you discard a crappy card, then I'm getting a spy token.
I feel
So,
like I'd
yeah.
almost always rather play Spark Rebellion in Premier and pick what I rip. Um,
Well, yeah.
if we're in yellow, which typically hand hate is a red yellow combination. I don't see a lot of mono red
Mm-hmm.
hand rate. Um, and this isn't enough of a payoff for me to consider it, I don't think. But it is like it's another card with discard. I bet you will get people in limited get rip their last card from hand with this, and they'll feel real bad. Um, like it seems okay in a slower limited environment to be able to threaten this kind of card advantage. Um, thing. I guess it isn't card advantage. It's neutral because you have to play the card itself, and they only discard one. If you get a spy, then you end up ahead. But yeah, I mean it's an
Mm-hmm.
okay card. I'll definitely play it in some limited decks, but I don't think it does enough for Premier. Now we've got aggressive negotiations.
Um, I like this card. Another combat pump that allows you to attack with the unit right away. Um, how much you pump your unit is going to be dependent on how many cards you have in hand. But if you've got a way to draw cards, this could be pretty nasty.
So this is similar to Rebellious Hammerhead, where the floor is +3/+0. If you play one card around and resource one card around, whenever you play it, you'll have three cards in hand. Which 3 goes for +3/+0 is already like passable. It's like fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to. I mean, it's one more expensive for Surprise Strike, but it's in red, which doesn't
Yeah.
typically get these type of pump effects. But yeah, if you're drawing cards, like if you've got Doctor Pershing in your deck, if you're playing this Yoda red, draw Bray a billion times deck, like this can be +6/+0 or better, and that is just insanely efficient for a pump effect. Like you will just
Mm-hmm.
die to this. This is one of the stronger cards in this double red Dedrum Hero deck that I've been alluding to this whole video. I might have to put out my take on that deck, even though I don't think it's too strong, but I think it's an interesting fringe deck that people have been messing around with. Um, but yeah, I think in decks that draw a lot of cards, this is a very frightening card that you have to play around. Um, and outside of that, it's even got a decent floor, so it's definitely got a lot of potential to see play in various decks.
Yeah.
Next up is Let's Call It War.
3 damage to your unit. If you happen to have the initiative, then you deal 2 damage to another unit in the same arena. At the moment, I'd rather just play open fire. Um, Post rotation, this might be a good replacement for it.
I think this is really good versus Vader 4 yellow. They typically
Mm-hmm.
lead double 1-drop, and their 1-drops have 3 or less health. And unless they lead double Republic Y Wing, one of them will have 2 or less health. So being able to just play a 2-drop, they play double 1-drop, you play Let's Call It War, you kill both of them. Like, I think it's more consistent than Grenade Strike killing both of them. So this seems
Mm-hmm.
like a really interesting, at least sideboard card if you're worried about Vader 4 yellow. Um, Outside of that context, yeah, I'd rather play open fire and guaranteed kill something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just where it's at. Then we've got unauthorized investigation.
3 costs to create a spy token, disclose a red, and then create another spy token. That seems pretty good. If you know, for 3 costs, you're getting yourself 2 units. Um, Again, if you're going to be playing some sort of a spy swarm deck, you need officials. This I could see this finding a home. I'd play it in limited.
Yeah, it
Totally.
seems great in limited. Maybe if we're playing some sort of go wide token deck in Premier, it'll see play. Then we've got charged with treason.
You can disclose 2 red to deal 5 damage to a unit for 4. At the moment, if I'm playing villainy, I'm probably just going to play force choke. But yeah, the double red thing is it's a limitation. Having to disclose 2 red cards. So yeah, there's probably better things to do.
Uh, I think it's interesting that in Padme this essentially does 6 because it triggers her leader ability. Um,
Hmm.
Whether that ends up making the final cut in Padme deck, I don't know, but that's 4 cost kill Poe, which is not insignificant. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, outside of Padme, I think there's better ways to deal 5 damage without spending 4 resources, so I don't think it'll see much play. Now we've got Topple the Summit.
For 5, you can deal 3 damage to each damaged unit. So it's kind of. I'd probably just still rather play bombing run or something. Yes, you can plot it in. I don't see it seeing a whole lot of play.
I think it's very, very strong in Boba 4. Being able to flip, shoot like 4 units for 1, play Topple, kill all those units. Um, I think Boba is the only. Oh, Kira too. Kira flip, shoot everything for half their health, topple, hit everything, maybe kill everything. You're left with a 7-1 Kira. Like leaders that can do mass damage like those two, definitely should consider playing some copies of this card because it just threatens a one-sided board wipe sometimes. Um,
Hmm.
but outside of those contexts, it's just too expensive and too
Yeah.
conditional to play it over bombing run. All right, that is all for the aggression cards. Do you have any final thoughts about aggression?
Um, like the others, I mean, overall, some good cards in limited. There's just better options in the previous sets. However, you do have stuff like Cinta in this set that is pretty darn good.
I feel like
It's a
red
lot of
got
good rebel cards.
yeah, for sure. I think red got a lot of love, especially from the plot department. Um,
Hmm.
so I think there are quite a few strong red cards, and I'm leaning towards it being one of the colors that got the most love this set. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of limited chaff. There's some all stars like the rest of the colors, and overall the set is still looking like relatively weak aside from a select handful of cards, at least pre-rotation. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out. It helps grow the channel, and it makes YouTube like me more. Um, we will see you in a future set review.